I'm Olivia. I run an online crystal shop called White Witch Collective. I still haven't come up with a... what are they called? Hugh, what's it called when you're... a jingle?
Jingle, yeah.
A little intro. I haven't come up with a jingle for my YouTube videos yet. Everything I've been trying sounds really cringy. Hey soul sisters! So yeah, that might just not happen. I am 23. I live in Bristol with my boyfriend Hugh, who you'll probably hear actually just like making a really big noise in the shower. Through my work, I've amassed a really loyal community of people, and I decided to create this channel just so that I would have my own outlet, I think, to discuss with you things that we are interested in. So all things of a spiritual nature, but also keep it relatable, and I hope to share lots of my own thinkings, musings, stories, practices and rituals with you. It's all coming from a totally good place, all good intentions. I just think that it's nice to be real and learn to step into our power, and I think we do that with more ease when we see others doing the same. So yeah, this is like a little intro video just so you know who the hell I am. So today I'm going to be talking about cleansing your crystals, because as energetic beings, like flowers, houseplants, they need looking after. There is an element of maintenance involved when you choose to adopt crystals, in the same way that you cannot buy a houseplant and simply expect it to fend for itself. I mean, I know everyone does that, which is why everyone's constantly replacing their houseplants, and that's why the industry is so, well, it's blooming. Literally. Yeah, crystals are no different. They store a lot of energy, especially if you work with them a lot. On the whole, I just dot them around and let them do their thing. Over a few days, you just kind of feel that the energy of the house is kind of, it's dropped, sunken a little bit, and that's often because the crystals have become tired, lethargic, falling asleep at the wheel. So that's when the cleansing comes in. The way I like to do it is through a smoke cleanse, or as some people call it, smudging. Smudging is actually a Native American term, so we've got to use it with respect, slash not at all. This is a wildly controversial debate, which I'm not going to have here. The idea with smudging or a smoke cleanse is that the smoke purifies your air, it dissolves any lingering negativity, any stagnation that might be lingering in your space that you don't really want there anymore, energies that don't serve you. It's really good to smudge your space actually if you've had an argument, like, you know, in the bedroom with your partner. If you've got relationship issues, a good smudge around the bed. I like to pull back the duvet and shake up the pillows just to move the energy, get it circulating, and I smudge all in there. Sometimes I will leave the shell with some loose incense as well, loose leaves inside it, and burn those and leave it on the bed. Refreshing the energy of the relationship, bringing in new things, getting rid of obstacles, and perhaps things from the past that are pulling you back. So the idea with the crystals is that you can waft them around in the smoke, just dissolve any tension, any energy that it's holding on to for you on your behalf. They're working with you, they're working for you, for your highest good and with your higher self. It's a really respectful thing to do. Also a really nice practice for you as well. Psychologically it feels great just knowing that you're refreshing something on a completely energetic level. You can smudge or burn so many different herbs, basically anything. My favourites are English herbs that grow in English gardens. Because that's me, I'm just a peaches and cream English girl, speaking with an American accent, so not English at all. English rosemary, English sage, lavender and roses, and I like to combine all of those in wands. Lavender that I've picked from my parents' garden, all bundled up, woven together with jute, and I've woven in a couple of dried roses into these. This is one of the sage ones, quite empowering. And then we've got these bad boys. Look at these. White sage. This is actually a sacred plant to the indigenous Americans, so you've got to use it with respect. Again, it's kind of dodgy territory. It's probably best to just stick with English herbs. And also in terms of the environmental impact, through buying it, you're endorsing an unsustainable industry. Massive stores in America now irresponsibly harvesting and wild crafting it. White sage is now quite high up on the endangered species list in America. It's dodgy territory, and I would probably recommend sticking to your classic old English herb gardens. And anyway, that's witchy shit, so probably what you're looking for anyway. So it's just a nice way to feel as though you're doing the planet and other cultures a favour, or being respectful of both, and have a clear conscience really. You can feel totally guilt-free. Then I've got my shell ready to catch any falling embers. This stunning smoky lodolite point, which is actually available to buy on the shop. Move the smoke and the crystal around each other like a little dance. It's quite meditative. You can speak. I like to really tune in. I usually ask that any energies that are stored within this crystal that do not serve my highest good, that do not vibrate with love or light or positivity, may they be gone. Only energies vibrating with love and light and positivity, health and wealth and abundance are welcome here. So yeah, smoke is a really, really ancient form of cleansing. It takes you right back to the primitive ages of, you know, our cavemen and women ancestors. It harks back to, in my mind anyway, images of ancient shamans from all over the world with their campfires, women chanting in circle, holding hands, heads up to the stars, purging. You know, it's reminding me of, in the tarot deck, the tower, you know, a big change, a shift. And change is good. It could be scary, but it's good. You get smoke without fire. What I quite like to do is use my barn owl smudging feather. The white barn owl is my, well, one of my spirit animals, spirit guides. I direct the flow of energy during the cleanse, and sometimes I bring myself into the crystal cleanse through the upper chakras, clearing away the cobwebs, and touch my throat. I often turn Reiki on at this point because I feel like it can enhance the experience. Tassels here are for increasing the energy clockwise and decreasing the energy anti-clockwise. And the anti-clockwise one is what you want to use when you're diminishing the energy that's stored in the crystals. So that's actually another method in itself of releasing energy from crystals. You can use anything that has a tapered point. Maybe a feather if you pick up a feather on your walk, or just your finger or a wand, even a little crystal point. Trace anti-clockwise and imagine this spiral point of convergence right in the centre, and that is considered to be the furthermost outward reaches of the universe, and it's nothing. So you're essentially shrinking and sending all of the unwanted stagnant energy down this wormhole. The next way you can cleanse your crystals is through water. Water is a massive, massive deal because, like the blood in the body, it carries and circulates energy. So you have these things in the ground called ley lines, for those that don't know, and they operate almost as the veins in a human body. It's a carrier of energy. If you have an unwelcome entity, an unpleasant energy, supernatural stuff happening in your house, that's probably because it's on ley lines and they're blocked, perhaps. That's why houses that are by the sea or by a fresh, constantly flowing body of water, like a stream or a river, have really good vibes. Houses that are on bogs or near marshland generally do have more of a creepy feeling. There's something about the mist, isn't there? I mean, we can all admit that. Just seeing it creeping along the hills and vales of the West Country, it's a bit much. Woman in Black, you know, classic. The author of that actually was inspired to write that by her walk along the moors. Or I think she saw a figure in the mist up ahead, like a woman in black, a black figure, and that's where the story came from. A little bit of trivia for you. Anyway, water, it's very important to work with in this realm of spirituality and energy work. With crystals, what's great is you can just run your tap, make sure it's not too warm, not too cold, and if you do feel called to speak, let it come from the heart, let it come from the throat chakra. You know what you need to say. You don't need to come up with a script. You don't overthink it. I always used to fall into the trap of overthinking what I was actually saying. You're just going to trip over your own words, and that's not fun, and it should be intuitive. You should be flowing like the water, going where you are guided, going with the flow. Another way of cleansing your crystals with water is to take them to the sea. What's really nice is to stand on the beach in the sand and just hold your crystals at ankle height. The waves come in to the shore, they hug your crystals and suck away all of the neggy stuff that you don't want in them and take it out to the ocean to be transmuted into love and light, and it feels great. And also just, visibly being able to see this great, the power of the ocean come towards you, immerse your crystals in it, and then carry it all away. It's quite a cathartic experience. And the same with the river. Definitely is something about a moving body of water, because you just feel like it's all being carried away, water under the bridge, So if it's forecast to be a really rainy night, leave your crystals outside and just let them have a good old rain soak. The one thing I will say is not all crystals can get wet. So tourmaline, I know, is not good with water. Black tourmaline, mica, they're all in the mica family, or mica, however you want to pronounce it. I could be helpful, I could be purple, I could be anything I like. As a rule of thumb, stick to water with quartz. The next way you can cleanse your crystals is through sound. You may have heard of a sound bath. This is basically where you bathe in sound. It's as simple as that, guys. Tibetan singing bowls, crystal singing bowls, gongs. The idea is that these deep reverberations, these vibrations, can correct misalignments on a cellular level. So essentially it's healing you and resetting you and regenerating you, your essence at a cellular level, which is quite amazing. People like to think of the connection between the crown chakra at the top of the head and the root chakra at the base of the spine as being an energy channel, Shushumna, and that channel is almost like strings on a harp. Life plays those strings, and if we get too out of tune, then that discord, that disharmony, that dis-ease manifests as disease, or tension, stress knots. So there is a definite connection between emotion and your body. The mind-body connection is real. Emotion is energy in motion. So when our crystals get out of tune, out of sync, out of harmony with our world that they are part of, it's time to tune them up. I'm putting my blue calcite inside my Tibetan singing bowl. This one must be over 100 years old. Lots of people like to use the moon and harness its beautiful divine feminine energy to charge their crystals, program them, set their intention for the way they want to work with them. But I actually love moon bathing my crystals. I feel like they come back so purified after a night out in the full moon. And the last way of cleansing your crystals is through the earth. There was a story, I think it was a journalist in Australia, and she was with the indigenous tribes over there. She was doing some exploring, and they all noticed this really horrible smell, and they realised it was coming from this woman because of her Western diet, meat and dairy predominantly. Basically, they buried her in a hole in the ground with her consent. When they uncovered her, the smell was gone, so the earth had just drawn out all of these toxins from her system. It kind of works energetically as well. The premise is that the earth will not only extract all of the physical toxins, chemical toxins from a body, it will also extract all of the unwanted negative energy. Dig in your garden, your neighbours are gonna love you. They'll be like, what is she doing now? I don't mind like that. They think I'm a complete pothead because I'm constantly burning plants in here, so it just smells really suspicious. Every time my landlord visits me, she's just like, as a Reiki practitioner, I use symbols in my work, in my treatments, in my practice. There is one that I actually can't disclose because of the sacred healing art that it is. I'm sort of sworn into secrecy out of respect for this ancient practice. But there is one symbol that I use for cleansing, and I use that for cleansing the body of energetic attachments that don't serve. I often just create huge ones in the house after I've had a party or people over, but you can do it over crystals as well. So if you're Reiki attuned to level 2, you will be able to use this. I've had a great time chatting to you all today, and I really hope that this has been helpful. Let me know how you get on. I'd love to know if you guys use any of these techniques. Follow me on Instagram at whitewitchco_, and check out the shop whitewitchco.com. I'd love to see you on both. Lots of love, and I will see you guys next time.